So I decided to change my hat today. I'm wearing my Montauk fishing hat that I've had for about, I don't know, 5 or 6 years. It looks well beaten. I like hats that look well beaten, just like my cab driver hat that I took off for today. So cheers. Welcome to Monday morning with Coffee with Cannon. Thank all you guys. I'm waiting for the first person to come into the chat today. We're hitting 30 seconds. You guys are slow to the draw today. Where is everyone? Where is the first person? 35 seconds. There we go. 37. Kathy Bates. Good morning. Good to see you. Amanda Lee Barry. Hey, Sergeant Bill. Joe Kane. Joe. Almost Joe. Close, but no, that was close. Joe, I recommended you to someone on Facebook that's looking for financial advice again on Facebook. I said, don't look on Facebook for financial advice. Go to a financial advisor professional. So I don't know if anyone will call you, but I always recommend you when these idiots are on Facebook asking financial questions, and all of these financial heroes not all give advice, all wrong advice. And I say, dude, your first mistake is asking for financial advice on Facebook. Wisconsin's on the air. No problem, Joe. Lorna McKenzie, Linda Petrovich, Buffalo, New York. That's Morgan Ashley Roll. Morgan Ashley, I went to Buff State many, many years ago. Buff State College Bengals. Yeah, I went to Buffalo. Transfer from Nassau Community College. I stayed in the state university system. Thank God it's the university system and not the penal system. But yeah, Buffalo State College. I actually got a bachelor's degree in journalism, broadcasting, and speech. And then I went in the police department for 27 years, and now I'm broadcasting. So maybe that degree is coming in handy right now. Journalism. And then I actually went back to school in 2000, right before 9/11, and got my master's degree from John Jay College in security management. And that's why I was allowed to teach college, because you needed at least a master's, and I had my master's in that. Barbara Riley, hello from Idaho. Good to see you guys. Angela Eng, great show last night. If you guys weren't watching, Joe Murray and Angela Eng, and actually had Irma Rivera came on. Hello, CRP from Kansas, and Allegedly Guilty. It was their second or third show, I believe. And they're close to 1,000 subscribers. If you guys don't know, on YouTube, just in case anyone out there thinks it's easy or wants to initiate their own channel, to get monetized on YouTube, you have to have 1,000 subscribers, and then they can put commercials on your. Yeah, Angie, I'll give me a call. I'll tell you how to do some of that stuff. I do all of that while being talent on the show, and you do too. And it takes your concentration off really talking and all that other stuff. But it's once you get the hang of it, it's not as hard. And I'll teach you how to do it if you want to talk to me later on today, or I'll give you a call. So a lot of things going on. What is today's Monday? So Thursday's Thanksgiving. Wow. The year flies by. It's unbelievable, right? Allegedly Guilty. Yeah, subscribe to Allegedly Guilty. Put them at 1,000. They need to get to. I think when I saw it, it was like 979 or 965, something like that. But you guys are very, very close to getting 1,000, and that's your first. That's your first hurdle. And then to actually do what I'm doing today on the telephone, you can't do this until you have 3,000 subscribers. So, Angie, that's your next goal. So you can sit in your yard or in your golden. Joe Murray, great, Joe. Good job, Joe. And I'm going to give you a call later and just to pump you guys up a little bit. Andy the Gabby Cabby, I think he's close to 20,000 subscribers. He's taken off. Some of you guys just take off. It's unbelievable. Kathy Bates says Joe and Angie Yang Allegedly Guilty was at 969 last night. But you know what's crazy? Allegedly Guilty, it's 977, so they need 23 more for 1,000. Not to take any air out of your balloon, but it happens to me all the time. I'll reach a certain level, and then I'll lose 25 or 30 or 40 or 50, and then it builds back up. So not only can you gain, but you can also lose, and that gets a little disheartening. Hey, Cliff Yates, how are you, buddy? How's stand-up going? I took a break from stand-up. It's tough to do this podcast and do stand-up comedy too, because stand-up comedy at my level, I may be doing it for like 6 or 7 years. You got to travel all over the place to do what's called open mics to get practice, and then you got to get booked. And it's like, so if I want to do open mics, most of them are in the city. So I have to drive sometimes an hour and 15 minutes to get 5 minutes on a stage, and then drive home another hour. So you're talking 2.5 to 3 hours to get 5 minutes. Lieutenant Pete, good to see you, buddy. Cliff Yates, me too. Writing and producing content, excellent. And yeah, because if you're a stand-up comic, you got to keep writing new stuff. And after you write it, you got to try it out. You got to perform it, because sometimes it sounds much better when you write it and then you perform it, and it gets no laughs. And one of the hardest things to do is to perform in front of other comics. Why do you think that is, guys? I'm going to tell you why. Because other comics are jealous and they don't laugh at your jokes. And you could have some jokes that kill with a real audience, but in front of other comics, they barely, a chuckle, barely a chuckle. So you got to try it out in front of a real audience. Hey, Scotty Wagner, good to see you, buddy. So, folks, so much. We're gonna still cover the Kyle Rittenhouse case. I'm not doing a show tonight. I'm going to do a show, not a shoe. I'm going to do a show Tuesday night at 9 p.m. With myself, Phil Grimaldi, and Michael Vecchione, who's a retired assistant district attorney from Brooklyn, legendary DA from Brooklyn. And we're going to take a little bit more of a dive into the Kyle Rittenhouse case. You can see how the different networks, the different media, and the different politicians are speaking about this. It's as if it's a 180 different degrees. Hello, Marie Green. How are you? Good to see you. According to your political position, and the attorney for Kyle Rittenhouse was on CNN with Chris Cuomo, and I don't know if Chris Cuomo sometimes just acts dumb or he is dumb. He's acting like, oh, why do you think? Because they were chasing him, they were going to beat him to death. Maybe we're just probably going to give him a little beating. Did Chris Cuomo watch the riots and how some people got beat to death? I remember that retired police captain was beaten to death. Did he miss that? Or did CNN also miss the part where they said the riots are mostly, no, they didn't call them riots, excuse me, they called them protests. The protests are mostly peaceful, and in the background, the whole city was burning down. That should be CNN's opening. They should use that. Oh, the protests are mostly peaceful as the entire city is burning down. It's just crazy, crazy stuff. Yeah, riots. The difference between riots, Rocky Mountain High, you want to see Chris Cuomo? I don't value Chris Cuomo's opinion on anything, but I was wondering why this attorney agreed to go on CNN. And maybe he's agreeing to go on both sides of the journalism. Let's call it thinly veiled journalism. Let's call it journalism. The journalism fence, to put out different sides of the story and different slants of the story. Somehow, Chris Cuomo didn't see that one of the guys had a pistol and how deadly physical force was warranted in that. And another one of them had a 3-foot-long skateboard, which he hit Kyle Rittenhouse in the head with twice. How he didn't see that deadly physical force may have been warranted under that case. And the other one, the first guy, Rosenbaum, that chased him for blocks. I don't know how. So, guys, this is Coffee with Cannon. Cheers. I got my old police off the cuff cup with the dipped in butter on the other side. And cheers. Now, if you guys have not sampled any of our merchandise, we have these cups, we have other types of coffee cups, we got shirts. Go on our merchandise site on policeoffthecuff.com. It's getting close to Christmas time. Our merch, that's right, our merchandise. You can order and have it delivered to any place in the world, And hello, Dawn Marie. Thank you so much for being a moderator. A lot of these times demand moderators, huh? Marianne K. Hello, Bill, again from an American in Finland. Wow. Are you in the fjords? In the fjords? Morgan Ashley, roll. Cheers, Bill. Got my dipped in butter mug. Thanks, Lieutenant Pete. Cheers. So there's a lot of coverage on this case, and it's it can become incendiary and almost promote people to riot when stupid things are said during this. And as we said, we all, as Americans, we all believe in peaceful protest. Hello, Dawn Marie. Always good to see you, Bill Cannon. Happy almost Turkey Day. Happy Bird Day. Isn't it what they call it? Bird Day? So, all my folks, where's all my British friends today? I don't see, yeah, Joe, it is a tough job to be a mod with these. There was some real evil people in the chat the other night, and I thought, I just say, I can disagree with you and you could give your opinion. And as long as it's respectful, you pretty much can say a dissenting opinion, and I'm fine with it, But when people they get violent and they get threatening and they say really disgusting things, you got to get rid of them. There's other places they can go, it's it's upsetting at times, And Joe Murray, who always gives a dissenting opinion when he's on the Police Off the Cuff podcast, but he's the most respectful guy there is. So when he comes on our show, people are like, "Oh man, I can't believe what he's saying." He's going exactly 180 degrees from what we say, but that's good. You want dissenting opinion, and that's a misnomer that dissent is not a good thing. Dissent is always a good thing because it creates conversation. As long as the conversation is real and it's not, it's not disrespectful. I think that it's important to have dissenting opinion. I remember when my son was in, I think he was in high school or his first year of college, and they were saying, one of the professors said, discuss how dissenting opinion can be divisive. And I said, Jake, you should write dissenting opinion is not divisive. It's good and necessary because there's Supreme Court justices, and there's always affirmative opinions and there's always dissenting opinions. And without the dissent, we would never know what the other side was thinking. So it's important to get dissenting opinions. But when dissenting opinions come with things that are lies, things untruths, then that's not okay. And there's been a lot of lies told on this Kyle Rittenhouse case. One of the things was that Kyle Rittenhouse crossed state lines with an illegal weapon. Did you know that Kyle Rittenhouse's dad, grandma, and friends all lived in Kenosha, less than 25 minutes from where he resided with his mom, part-time in Illinois? If you didn't, then you're listening to the wrong media outlet. Did you know that Kyle put out a dumpster fire that was being rolled down to a gas station to blow it up with people all around it? That misinformation, that was never mentioned by the mainstream media. Do you know that the police were told to stand down as businesses were destroyed? That is 100% a fact, and it happens in almost every city. It happened in New York. De Blasio said, we want a soft touch. They also didn't use any of the tools for controlling large crowds. For example, Mounted. Mounted was nowhere in sight. Emergency service was nowhere in sight. Drones. I know the police department has drones. They could have used drones to track where the crowd was going, or to track who put pallets of bricks in the middle of a protest zone. That's investigation 101. They didn't use all the tools. Hello, Jimmy Calandra and the Bath Avenue boys. Good afternoon. Good to see you, buddy. I see you're doing very well, Jimmy Calandra. I'm glad you are, buddy. Rocky Mountain High, yes, the pallets of bricks. And wouldn't that be easy to tell if you had a drone tracking who, in fact, put that there? 1 minute there's no bricks, the next minute they're there. So it's just like, they didn't use all the tools of policing, They also have other tools that they didn't, because they also, in New York City, they really didn't want arrests. When they talk about a soft touch, they also mean almost no arrest, Yeah, I saw that the person when Wakusha ran over, I think so far the count is the guy killed 5 people with an SUV. I don't know much about the perpetrator yet. I don't know if the police haven't released it or that the press is because it may be someone that they find incendiary. They haven't released what the whole thing was. Yeah, that's really scary. They had a terrorist attack like that in New York City a couple of years ago. I think the guy killed like 12 or 13 people. Same thing, running people over. Uh, just just horrendous. Crazy times we live in. Uh, did you know that during the Kenosha riots, in which Kyle Rittenhouse shot 3 people, do you know that the president offered the services of the National Guard and it was turned down? Yeah, that actually happened. Did you know that Joseph Rosenbaum knocked down Kyle Rittenhouse twice and then attempted to kick him with lethal force to the head and also chased him with a chain? Nowhere in the media is that mentioned. Nowhere. So all of these facts coming out. Did you know that Uber had hit him in the head 2 times with a skateboard? That was never mentioned either. Could a skateboard knock you out or kill you? Absolutely, absolutely. Did you know that Gage Grosskreutz, a felon in possession of a firearm, pointed his gun at Kyle's head first, as he admitted to on the stand? The prosecution put him on the stand, and he destroyed their case by admitting he pointed the gun at Kyle Rittenhouse. You know, they say in lawyering, don't ever ask a question unless you know the answer first. Well, there's an example of bad lawyering. The prosecutor asked a question and he was expecting one answer and got a different one. These walls of eyes. We had that happen in London here in Ontario, Canada. A young man ran over a family of 5, killing 4. Dawn Marie, facts. Yes, 100%. Did you know this is another misnomer, a lie that was perpetrated by the media? You know that in the state of Wisconsin, it is legal for Kyle to have a gun, even at 17, which is why the gun charge was dismissed. The media never mentioned that. They kept going with that narrative that he crossed state lines with an illegal gun. So, not even close to true. Uh, there's a bunch of other stuff about the folks that he shot. Obviously, they weren't very good people. They all had arrest records, and it's just disturbing. The whole thing is when the media has a media bias, and they promote things based on their political ideology. That's the only one they call out. The left always calls out Fox and says Fox is not telling the truth. Oh my God! How about MSNBC? Followed the jury bus. Why can't they be charged with jury tampering? Is Joe Murray on the air? Joe, what do you think? MSNBC following the jury bus. What was the point of that? Were they videoing them at the time? Did they intend to let the mob know where they were? Was it to intimidate the jury? What was that? What was the point of that? What was the point? Well, someone in the chat was saying it's only legal to carry the gun. When the judge looked into it, a rifle, shotgun under X amount of inches, it was okay to carry. So he threw that charge out because it didn't fit the letter of the law. That was found out during the trial. So that charge was thrown out. I agree that was terrible. Follow the jury. Yeah, MSNBC's following the jury bus. Joe Murray, are you on the air? What was the point of that? Could that be considered jury tampering? Could they be sanctioned or arrested for that? What was the point? A lot of people are talking about the civil cases that Kyle Rittenhouse has against MSNBC, CNN, even President Joe Biden, because he was a civilian when he called Kyle Rittenhouse a white supremacist. One of the worst things that I think all the left-wing media says, and it just drives me crazy, is like, that's a dog whistle for, what is a dog whistle? Oh, that's blowing this thing to alert other conservatives. This is what we mean, but we don't want the other people to know what we mean. How pathetic is that? How pathetic. It's a dog whistle. It's a dog whistle. And the other thing was, they were claiming the OK sign is a signal of white supremacy. Where did that come from? And who owned that? Who invented that? I think that's very disturbing. People could say this means something else. Yeah, it means peace or it means victory. But someone else could say, oh, it means something else. And that's scary. That's very scary. And to try to own things and just say, oh, this is what a signal of white supremacy. I never heard of that before. I just find it, the media just likes to pour gasoline on a fire. Tonight, Tucker Carlson is going to interview Kyle Rittenhouse at 8 p.m. on Fox, and they released some snippets of it. I think maybe, and I don't know if you guys will agree with me or disagree with me. I think it's a little too early for that. I think maybe they should have waited a little bit longer, let some of the wounds from this heal. I think it's a little bit too early, and maybe if they waited a couple of weeks. Of course, the media, whether it's Fox or any other station, I was on Ashley Banfield the other night, and I saw an interview with her attorney, and she was practically begging him to get her Kyle Rittenhouse to come on her show. And he basically said, I'm not his agent, I'm his attorney. And he also said that I think it's a little bit too early for him to be going on TV shows and, talking about what happened and all this other stuff. So, maybe some of the wounds of this should have been allowed to heal a little bit. So it's very, very, early. Folks, if you're not subscribed to Police Off the Cuff, Real Crime Stories, please go on our YouTube, hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, give us a thumbs up. Joe Murray says he thinks Kyle Rittenhouse should have declined the interview. I think you're right, Joe. I think he should have absolutely waited. I think he was I think Fox News was supportive through his arrest and through his trial. And maybe that's why he feels indebted to them to go on. But yeah, he's still in the crosshairs of the government. We discussed that on our show the other night, that you hear a lot of these media reporters and also some of these politicians threatening to sick the feds on them. Hello, Jeanette. Great to see you here. Like, are they going to sick the FBI on this kid for civil rights violations? Is that what they're going to do? Or, Joe, what do you think? Will the feds try to sick the FBI and say this was a civil rights violation? I'm on the episode I was on with Banfield's out there already. It's the same episode that she interviewed Kyle Rittenhouse's attorney, and we do another segment called Policing in America. I'm supposed to be on this Wednesday night with the same thing, but whenever they book you on this on these shows, you can get bumped very easily. If some bigger story comes on or some bigger talking head comes on, you're bumped. Because I'm just a widow podcaster. Former NYPD homicide sergeant, a widow podcaster who can get knocked off the air by a bigger guest. So corporate media, yeah. I mean, what can the government do to him right now, Joe? I mean, he beat the trial. What are they? Jimmy Clinton, Bill, I love these sessions you put together. I agree with you. It's too early for him to start doing interviews. Let time pass a little. Yeah, let him heal, and let the public heal, and let this story fade a little bit. And then if you want to come on to me, but of course the media wants you out there. Yes, the Proud Boys affiliation is dangerous and may be exploited by the government. Just look what they did to Ed Mullins. Joe, there's so many examples of them weaponizing the FBI, especially with parents and PTAs, where they use the FBI to call parents terrorists who were going after the critical race theory that was being pushed by school boards. And scary. And if you saw that guy Garland, who was Obama's nominee to be a Supreme Court justice, he's out and out scary, that guy. He couldn't tell the truth if his life depended on it. One of the Republican senators says, "Thank God you were not a Supreme Court justice. You're a disgrace." And he just like, he couldn't even lie straight. He got caught. They want to bring him back because he got caught in a lie, and they can prove that he wrote the memo weaponizing the FBI against PTA members. So that's really scary, you know. What did you guys do? You guys watch the show with Michael O'Keefe? Michael O'Keefe is a great retired first grade detective author. He's written several novels, Shot to Pieces, Burnt to a Crisp, and Reckoning in Brooklyn. I've read all three of them, and you know, Michael O'Keefe, great guy, and I can, you know, being a friend of his and interviewing him numerous times, I could see the PTSD on Michael O'Keefe's face from that incident that happened in 1992, a life or death fight with a drug dealer named Kiko Garcia, and there were parallels in that case, in the Kyle Rittenhouse case, in the way that the media portrayed Michael O'Keefe, the way the media portrayed the New York City Police Department, and the way the media and politicians and some religious leaders just lied and poured gasoline on the fire and caused those Washington Heights riots to be exacerbated by false information. If you guys don't know the story of the Washington Heights riots, Mike's book, Shot to Pieces, it's fictional, but there's a lot of truth in it, and it's done during the backdrop of the Washington Heights riots, when Mike gets into a drop-dead death fight with Kiko Garcia, who's armed with a gun. And Mike, if you met Mike, he's short. He's about 5'8", 5'9", but he's powerful. He's a bodybuilder, very strong. Kiko Garcia, I believe, was about 6'2", about 2 1/4. So he probably outweighed Mike by, you know, like 40 pounds. Had about 5 or 6 inches on him, and luckily, Mike came out of that on top alive, and Kiko Garcia wound up dead in this fight. But people tried to lie about this case, and that's what caused misinformation, caused the Washington Heights riots. So it's that type of thing also with the Kyle Rittenhouse case. Misinformation blew this case up. Misinformation. You even hear some of these, I heard some, Maria Shriver said, "I had to explain to my son what self-defense means. He couldn't understand why he got away with killing two." I was just like, will you stop? You know, it's like, how old is your son anyway? Guy's probably 30 years old and you're explaining shit to him? Come on. It's just, you know, I just think that people like to perpetrate misinformation for their own reasons, you know, and the Washington Heights riots in 1992 show you things don't change, right? So actually, 2022 will be 30 years ago. That'll be 30 years ago. Is that unbelievable? Cheers, guys. This is Coffee with Cannon, and I'm so happy there's like 156 people in the chat. We're building up an audience here because you guys like to hang out in me garden. In me garden, which I call a yard. And where? Where's the Gabby Cabby? I don't see him today. He's dying to have us come to London and share a pint with us, you know? Phil Grimaldi must have woke up. Phil was in a deep sleep till a few minutes ago. Now he's in the chat. Jeanette, how are you? Linda Petrovich, wow, I feel old. Yeah, 30 years ago, the Washington Heights riots, you know. So as I spoke before, myself and Phil, Tuesday night, that's tomorrow night at 9 p.m., we're going to do another show on Kyle Rittenhouse, a deep dive, and retired ADA, legendary ADA from Brooklyn, Michael Vecchione. He's also a co-author of Friends of the Family with Tommy Dades, which was a book written about, hello, Annie C., you love me garden? If you love me garden, you love me man. If you love the garden, you love the man. That's pretty funny. CRP, Bill, true that. That's funny. So anyway, yeah. So Michael Vecchione, along with Tommy Dades, wrote the book Friends of the Family, and that's about the mafia cops, Caracappa and Ippolito, and they would actually two NYPD detectives who were doing hits for the mob, probably the two most corrupt cops in the history of the New York City Police Department. There's no worse thing you can do than do murders, and that's what they were doing. Marilyn Minetta, she looks forward to all my shows. Thank you so much, Mrs. Kelly. That line is from Serpico. You're right, Scott. That is from Serpico. If you love me gun, you love the man. I can't put anything by you guys that are aficionados of cop movies, you know? Just like everyone knows every line from The Godfather. If you try to sneak a line in from The Godfather, people know, oh, that was from The Godfather. You didn't make that up, you know? I didn't say I made up the line, if you love my garden, you love the man, but I thought it was a good time to use it. I haven't sung yet. I can't think of a song today. You know, I was in, okay, I came up with a quick song. I was in Spin today. I took Spin today, and I put the picture up on Instagram. Spin is tough, you know, and at the end of the spin, she played my wedding song. And then she abruptly turned it off, and I said, hey, that was my wedding song. It was, I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, is also on the people, of people that you lie. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Louis Armstrong, no one could sing that better than Louis Armstrong. Amazing. You know, the first time I ever heard that song was, thank you, sweet Melissa. The first time I ever heard that song was in the movie Good Morning Vietnam with Robin Williams. And I had never heard that song. When I heard it, I was like, wow, what a great tune, you know? Really, really great. And when I got married, I chose that song as our wedding song. Of course, I couldn't bring in Louis Armstrong to sing it, but beautiful, beautiful song, you know. So cheers, guys. Coffee with Cannon in my garden. Peggy Sue was a song by, what's his name now? The great American songwriter, Buddy Holly. Peggy Sue, pretty, 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 pretty Peggy Sue. Oh, Peggy, my Peggy Sue. Well, I love you, girl. I love my Peggy Sue. Buddy Holly, wow. CRP, look at those 4 roses, wow. Rosemary J brought tears to my eyes. Kimberly Myers, cheers to you too, Kimberly Myers. Wow, 150 people in the chat. That's fantastic. You know, these Coffee with Cannon shows are starting to pick up. You guys are telling friends, they're telling a friend, the friend's telling a friend. What I promise to bring my guitar one day. Maybe I'll even do one of these shows from inside because it's too damn cold to play guitar outside. When your fingers get cold, they don't move. You can't get them to do what you want them to do. So it's so great. You know, this show is starting to pick up. Coffee with Cannon, and I really enjoy doing this one because it's no heavy lifting. I don't really have to, you know, I get to talk to you guys for like half hour, 35 minutes. Galveston Island, Anna Taylor, great singing, yes, guitar off to dentist. Hello to all, have good. Smee, CRP, beautiful. Mickey V, it's awesome. Penny Sue, you have a fantastic, thank you so much. Imaginal instrumental in there. Joe Murray. So you guys also, you know, allegedly guilty. Joe Murray's new podcast with him and Angie Ng. Please, guys, if you haven't subscribed to them, please do so. They're very close to 1,000 to get monetized by YouTube. You need to have over 1,000 subscribers. and then they can worry about 3,000 after that. But get them to 1,000. They deserve it. Great people. Joe Murray's a great supporter of this show as well as Duty Ron's show, and we try to help each other out. Tennessee girl, hey Sergeant Bill, I've been missing your live streams. I'm sorry. You should be getting notified if you're subscribed. Sitfa, what a wonderful voice. Thank you so much, you guys. I really appreciate that. We call it cross pollination. So we try to support each other. Joe Murray, Duty Ron, myself, Jimmy Calandra. He helped me. Jimmy Calandra helped me, and we try to help Jimmy Calandra. Believe it or not, Sammy the Bull Gravano has helped us out. If you guys haven't watched the show on September 15th we did with Sammy the Bull Gravano, 2020 is doing a show with Sammy the Bull, and they watched that interview, and they said that was a great interview. So professional, real professional broadcasters are watching us and saying, wow, that was a great interview. You know how excited I was about that? Phil, Tommy Dades, we were very proud of that, And we took a little bit of heat for interviewing Sammy the Bull, but I don't care. I can take the heat, If you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen, as they say, Glocko Mia, I'm sub to Joe, Sammy, and Jimmy Calandra. Great. I hope you're sub to us too. Duty Ron has a great show, and Duty Ron has schooled me a lot in this whole YouTube world, and it's not an easy world. There's no world. Look, nothing you do in this world, on this earth, that's worthwhile is easy. If it was easy, I'm going to say a cliche. Everyone would do it, right? Everyone would do it, and that's for sure, So I'm hoping all you guys are really getting ready for Thanksgiving. You gotta diet for a couple of days to get ready to eat more than you've eaten in the past year. Getting ready for that turkey and the apple pie, pumpkin pie, pecan pie, sweet potato pie, stuffing, mashed potatoes, turkey, whether you like white meat or dark meat. And for all my Italian friends, you're adding another layer of food by eating Italian food. It's so you guys got to be ready. You got to be in shape for this stuff. Take a couple of spin classes. That's what I'm trying to get. There's Phil Grimaldi says correctly, there's not a journalist in the world that would turn down a Sammy the Bull Gravano interview. Phil, 100%, 100%, So all these critical people out there, oh, you guys are cops. You shouldn't be interviewing criminals. Well, what is it that we did when we were cops, Yeah, what is it we did? Marilyn Minetta. How are you, Marilyn? Thank you for those 5 blue hearts. It's very nice of you. Don't forget the ham. Scott, are you eating ham too? I don't know if I can handle ham and turkey and all of that. Oh, my God. Depends, you can just eat so much food. And then, I told you guys my favorite thing about Thanksgiving is after Thanksgiving, later that night, having a white meat turkey, stuffing, cranberry, and mayonnaise sandwich. That, to me, is better than Thanksgiving. That's my favorite thing, with a nice glass of wine, followed up, if I have room, with a piece of apple pie. And then you got to roll me. You got to roll me down a hole into my bed, Scott, ham, even Lieutenant Pete, it must be an Italian thing you guys love about. Scotty's not Italian, but Lieutenant Pete is. A cup of coffee. Cheers. Coffee with Cannon, guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. I bought some hot cocoa yesterday, too. I'm going to have some hot cocoa soon because... Rachella Pranzo, I love stuffing day after with a fried egg on top. Wow, I never heard of that, Rachella, but that sounds good. Sounds really good. Ham and black-eyed peas on New Year's Day, Linda Petrovich. There's all kinds of traditional food from one's family, right, that's passed down. And from my father's side of the family came macaroni and cheese. And we would actually have macaroni and cheese along with all the other trimmings for Thanksgiving. And sometimes people say, oh, and then when you have it with the turkey gravy, oh, my God. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Gregory Sterner, happy holidays to all. Snoozy girl, you're making me hungry. Yeah, I'm starting to get hungry too. Although I had a little something to eat right before I went on the air. Guys, I'm at almost 40 minutes. I'm going to say goodbye. Thank you guys so much for joining Coffee with Cannon today. And if you don't have any merch, you don't have these coffee cups, go on our website, policeoffthecuff.com, and order some stuff as Christmas presents or for yourself. Just order it. Guys, thank you so much for joining in with me today. Have a wonderful day.